Hello, jeweler, and welcome to the training on funnels. We've talked a lot about funnels already in a lot of the other videos, talking about how we move our clients step by step through funnels until we finally get a sale, and then we even have funnels after that. And if you've read anything about marketing or heard anything about marketing, you've probably heard a lot about funnels, and you probably have thought, I want to have a funnel too. Well, funnels are great. Funnels are an awesome thing for you to learn, and if you get them and you have a funnel that works really well, then you're going to be very successful. But if you don't have a funnel that works well and you don't understand your client journey, you don't understand what's happening with clients online, you don't direct them and have anywhere for them to go, well, you're probably not going to be very successful. Or you're going to be minimally successful, but if you had a great funnel designed for your business specifically, you would see a ton of success. And so I'm here to either take businesses that are just starting and don't necessarily know what to do with their clients and give them a place to go, or take great businesses and really hone in on the process of getting more of those clients that help you make more than $1,000 an hour. How about $10,000? How about $20,000 an hour? Getting a lot of them into your business and making a sale with you. And funnels is how we do that. So, first things first, what is a sales funnel? Number two, what is the biggest mistake that people make when making a funnel? And we'll get into one mistake here that is huge. I see it happening all the time. And you likely have seen this happen too, or you've made it yourself. You need to clear this up, and we're going to get through one, maybe another mistake as well. But then number three, I'm going to get into something that is incredible. And I've already touched on this a bit before, but it's the jeweler's secret weapon. Now, this weapon is potent. It is very powerful. And to be honest, this weapon, once I figured this out and started using this in our family's business, was a game changer. It truly was a game changer. And if you have the ability to use this in your business, and I know a lot of the jewelers I'm talking to do, then you're going to be very grateful for having watched this video, because it has the potential to take your business from mediocre to fantastic. And if you understand how to use this, and I'll teach you how to, then you have a very bright future ahead of you. And then number four, how to optimize. So number one, let's get started with what is a sales funnel. So remember back when we were talking about content, we had content is king and distribution is queen, the royal couple. So here in the very, very beginning of our funnel, we have content. Someone saw content. Somehow it was distributed to them, and don't worry, I'll teach you how to distribute great content. But in the very first place, someone saw content. Well, that content led that person to click on something, and now in the second step of our funnel, they're at a website. Well, they were on the website and they saw something on the website that piqued their interest, and so they decided to click on something else. And they decided to give their email. Now we have their email, and they get to watch a video. That is a funnel. They went from seeing something on Instagram to a website. On that website, they decided, I want to watch a video, so I'll give my email address. And then they got to watch the video. Now, what was the purpose of this funnel? Well, for the person going through it, it's to watch a video. They may not have even known about the video in the beginning, but the content brought them in, the website worked, and they watched the video. Now, from the business's perspective, what's the purpose of this funnel? The purpose of this funnel could be a couple things, but there's one thing in particular that sticks out to me here. The business wants email addresses, and they're using a video as a way to get email addresses. If you give us your email address, you can watch this valuable video. And it's the only way to get it. It's the only way to watch the video. So people give their email addresses to do that. Now, why would a business want an email address? Well, for a lot of reasons. It could help them with marketing, and they could remarket to those people later on. They can send them direct email messages later on. They can create a list, which can be great for Google ads or Facebook ads. A lot of different reasons for emails. Emails are very, very powerful. Let's look at another situation. Let's say that your prospect is on Facebook. They're just scrolling through, and as they're scrolling through, they see an ad, and then they get to a landing page, and then they get to the checkout page, and then they get to the thank you page. Another version of a funnel. Ad leads to a landing page that is directly connected to that ad. They decide they want to buy whatever it was, so they click on the checkout page, and then they purchase, and the next thing they see is a thank you page. What's the purpose of this funnel? Well, the purpose of this funnel is a sale. This funnel gets someone from seeing a Facebook ad to a landing page. So not a general website, but a landing page, which has direct information that was exactly related to the Facebook ad. And it speaks to that person's pain point and gets them into a checkout because they realize this product, this offer is what I want. And then the thank you page is the last thing they see before getting the email confirmation that their order has been shipped or submitted, and they get their order later on. A sales funnel is a step-by-step sales process. And today, entire multi-step funnels can be completely automated online. And that is a huge, amazing thing that can happen now. You don't need to have any personal influence or any personal work that you have to do in order for someone to go from stranger to paying client. In fact, you could do it while you're asleep. You could get a paying client without you having to do anything more than set up a successful funnel. And I mean that. And so entire multi-step funnels can be completely automated. And I'll show you how to do that. You can do it with e-commerce. You can do it with in-store shopping. Everything can be automated. So how does this really work? Again, if we have a funnel, it is multi-step. So let's look at what those steps could look like. Let's say that step one is that somebody sees your ads. So right now we're talking about it in terms of, if you know the two different methods of advertising, we have time methods and paid methods. Let's think about this through paid methods. So if you're doing paid advertising, then somebody sees your ads. Could be on Facebook, Google, Instagram. Somebody sees your ads. From that ad, they click on the ad and they visit a landing page. Then from that landing page, they decide to click on the checkout page, and it could either be a checkout page if it's e-commerce or a sales meeting page to book an appointment with you. And then the next step after that is, if they have the meeting with you, they become a paying client. Or if they go from the checkout page to the last page, then it's a thank you page and they become a paying client. This would be just a very basic, simple sales funnel. Ad, landing page, checkout page, paying client. And here's how this works. A lot of people are going to see your ads. Lots and lots and lots of people are going to see your ads. If you do it the way that I do it, then you're going to have thousands and thousands and thousands of people are going to have your content put in front of their faces. Now, what ends up happening is not everyone is going to click on your ad. Have you ever been on Facebook and you've seen an ad and you've scrolled past it? Or on Instagram and you've scrolled past it? It's a part of what happens. So some people click on the ads, and then on the other side, we get a bit fewer people. And those people are all the ones who see your landing page. Every single one of these people sees your landing page. And if you do ads the way that I will teach you, you'll get thousands of people seeing your landing page. So thousands and thousands of people are seeing your landing pages. Well, not everybody is going to click with what it is that you're offering them. It's not for them, it's the wrong time, a whole bunch of different reasons. So, less people are going to click to get to the checkout page. And every single time, we are losing people along the way. And that's perfectly normal, it's expected. And so we have a little bit of attrition every single step in the funnel. And so we have a bit fewer people from the last step that get to the checkout page. And then finally, at the very end, we have paying clients. At the very, very beginning, we had a lot of people, thousands and thousands of people. And then a few drop off, and then we have people seeing our landing page. A few more drop off, and we have a sales meeting or a checkout page, and a few more drop off, but then we finally have paying clients. And that is the basic architecture of a funnel. So what is a website sales funnel? A website sales funnel is a step-by-step process on your website for getting people from new visitor to paying client. The entire goal here is to automate a process that gets people from new visitor to paying client. Make it as simple as possible. And a couple terms that you're going to want to know are going to be, number one, landing page. I'll be saying landing page quite a bit, and there's a bit of a misinformation about what a landing page is. A landing page is not your home page on your website, but rather it's a separate page from your main home website page where people land after clicking on an ad. So if there were an ad for soap, for example, it would be, if you click on that ad, then the landing page would be all about selling that soap. But what if the business is an essential oils brand? Well, the landing page isn't going to be the home page of the essential oils brand. Rather, it's going to be connected to the soap. Now, a squeeze page. A squeeze page is a landing page on your website that has no navigation away from that page. Why would we want that? So navigation is the links at the top, at the bottom, that can get you home, shop, about us, book appointment. All those are different links, and they allow you to navigate away from the page. So why would we create a page that has no navigation? Well, simple. We don't want any distractions for people to be able to go to different parts of the website. We specifically want them to go from one step to the other, without having other options. By taking away options, people are forced to go in a certain direction. Now, obviously, they can navigate away if they click on if they change their URL, or if they press backspace, for example. But a squeeze page is meant to reduce attrition and to allow more people to get to the next step. And they work pretty well, actually, for doing that in comparison to a normal website page. Another term is lead. A lead is a visitor to your page who has left some sort of information for a follow-up. And this could be a lot of different things that they could leave you. A lead could be someone who, for example, uses your instant chat in your could be someone who uses your instant chat on your website and texts you and says, "Hi, I'm interested in this product," or "I'm looking for this." A lead could be someone who gives you their email address. A lead could be someone who added a product to their cart. A lead could be someone who simply went on your website, watched your video a certain amount of seconds. A lead can be a lot of things. So a lead is anyone who has taken an action to get to your website and has left some sort of information for you. And then we have retargeting and remarketing. Now, the reason that these are right next to each other instead of being separate is because they do mean the same thing. The only difference is the platform on which they're used. So we use the term retargeting with Facebook ads and remarketing with Google ads. But again, they really mean the same thing. So if you've ever talked in front of your phone, or you've ever visited a website and it's had some sort of product on there, and then just a little bit later you start to see ads for that. That's called retargeting and remarketing. It's you've shown interest in some regard to a particular product, and now you're going to be shown ads to it. So retargeting and remarketing is a process by which people who have shown interest are given more chances to do business with you. So this happens if a person goes onto your website, and then later on you can show ads to them later about what they clicked on before, so that you can keep them in your funnel. So let's go into the biggest mistakes people make when they're making a funnel. The biggest mistake, the number one mistake that I see people making in their funnel design, is failing to have a cohesive message. This is huge, and it's worth saying again, just so that it is really concrete in your head. The biggest mistake that people make in designing their funnels is failing to have a cohesive message. And by cohesive message, I mean they have the same message every part of their funnel. So look here. If you remember back to when we talked about sell before build, we had where your prospect is, where your prospect wants to be, and then their gap. And then what we did was we talked about crafting your offer to fill it perfectly, to fill that gap perfectly, so that where that prospect wants to be, they can only get there by buying into your offer. Your offer is the perfect vehicle to drive them from where they are to where they want to be. Now, if we keep that in mind, we're going to get into something called inner voice messaging, or IVM, later on. And this inner voice messaging is what we use to tell them we understand where you are, we understand where you want to be, and our offer is the perfect vehicle to get you there. Inner voice messaging is powerful, powerful messaging. It allows you to speak directly to the inner voice of your prospect and to say, I get you, we get you, we are people like you, we understand what you're going through, and we're going to help you get to where you want to be. So when we have this kind of inner voice messaging, it is very powerful. And inner voice messaging is the transformation story that your prospective client truly desires, which you offer them. Again, inner voice messaging, or IVM as I'll call it, is the transformation story that your prospective client truly desires, which you can offer them. And so we use this inner voice messaging, and we put it in front of our prospect, and we say at the very, very beginning, at the outset, the first time that they see us, we understand your inner voice. We know what you are struggling with, and we're here to help you, and we will help you get from where you are to where you want to be. So if there is a messaging disconnect from one step of the funnel to the next, you will rapidly lose prospective clients. So let's imagine that at the very, very beginning, we have inner voice messaging. So we have an incredibly powerful ad. The content is great. We have the client in mind when we're making the content. We have the messaging down great. And I'm going to teach you how to get that kind of messaging, how to get into your prospects' heads. And we have exercises that we'll go through so that you can do that. But let's imagine you have a great ad, fantastic ad, and people are responding like crazy. They are clicking on it like crazy. It's awesome. And then after that, they hit a page that basically says, I'm a general jeweler. So you just told them, I am the perfect person to get you from where you are to where you want to be. I'm the only one that you should be dealing with. They have trust in you because you have built up a bunch of certainty with them using the 6 steps to, or the 6 roads to trust, and they are completely certain about you because of the way that you have advertised to them. All of that is so good, and they think you are a specialist. You are an expert in helping them with their particular problem, and then they get to, I'm a general jeweler. I'm just like everyone else. What is that going to do? What that's going to do is be very confusing. It's very, very confusing. Or what if it's, we specialize in custom engagement rings? Well, fantastic. That's exactly what I want. I want a custom engagement ring. I'm looking for something unique and one of a kind, something that only my wife is going to have. I want to put my own personal touch and spin on it. I can't wait to work with someone who does this, who only does this, who this is their specialty. And then you get to their website, and in big, bold letters it says, we specialize in repairs. That's confusing. It's confusing, and you will lose tons of people because they're not looking for a generalist. They're looking for someone who is the best at helping them solve their problems. Or how about unique, one-of-a-kind jewelry? I see this all the time. So often I see, we sell unique, one-of-a-kind jewelry all over. It could be all over ads. It could be when you type in a jeweler's name on Google and you have the metadata that shows what they put in there for SEO, and it says unique, one-of-a-kind jewelry, handmade or handcrafted, very unique and totally custom jewelry. And then you get to their website, and what you see is stock photos from jewelry suppliers that other stores have. You talk all about being one of a kind, all about being unique, all about being special and like no one else, and then all over your site, all you have is pictures of jewelry that anybody could buy from Stuller, that anybody could buy from Quality Gold, just all of these big companies, and those are all over your site, not unique one-of-a-kind pieces. That is jarring. It's very confusing. People are looking for one thing, and you're telling them, I can give you that. But then what they see when they get to the next page is totally different. That is a lack of cohesion. And again, I just want to state, if there is a messaging disconnect from one step of the funnel to the next, you will rapidly lose prospective clients. And let me put this in here too. If there is a messaging disconnect and you're rapidly losing prospective clients, Facebook and Google two things will happen. Number one, Facebook and Google will gladly vacuum out your wallet for you while you're not making any money back. And so unfortunately, they're not going to tell you how to make your ads better. They're in the business of making money too. But they will, even if there are enough people who are bouncing off of your site, a bounce is when someone goes on your site and immediately leaves. If there's so much of a disconnect between what your ad states and what your website looks like and what your website states, and people are going to your website being confused and leaving because, well, it's not the same thing, it's not what you were looking for, Facebook and Google will actually suspend your ads. They'll make it so you can't run ads anymore because people are having such a bad experience that they want their users to have a good experience. And if they are showing your ads and leading people into a bad experience, they're going to stop showing your ads. It's very important. And remember, when we talked about consistency before, about consistency is one of the things that people say, we like people like us. I want to be like I was before. I want to be consistent with who I was before. Therefore, I will buy, such and such, or I'm going to give into this philosophy because I believe in this, and therefore I'm going to buy from you. If people don't see consistency in your marketing, they are not going to be able to be consistent with themselves. So if you're talking about, for example, your vision, your statement all over your marketing, and then it's inconsistent on your website, there's not a sense of cohesion there, well, what's going to happen is people aren't going to believe that you're actually like them. They're going to think that you're fake, and they're going to leave your brand. They're not going to trust you. They're going to lose trust with you. And so if your messaging is not consistent, prospects will lose trust and certainty about you, your business, and your offer. And the biggest mistake that people make in their funnel design is failing to have a cohesive message. And this is so common. It's incredible how common this is. And it's when someone tells me, hey, I'm not having good results, what's going on? Why is it that I'm not seeing the kind of results that I want to? We're having tons of people clicking on our ads, but then no sales are happening. One of the first questions that I ask is there a consistent message between your ads and the next page and the next page and the next page in your funnel? Is everything directly pointing to, we understand you, we understand where you are, where you want to be, and our offer is the perfect offer to get you there? Is everything saying that? Because if it's not, then that's a huge problem. And people are going to leave you to find someone else who is doing a better job of addressing their particular problem. And the second biggest mistake that people make in their funnel design is failing to retarget properly. So if you remember, we have a lot of attrition. A lot of people, then less, then less, then less. And this is absolutely normal. And retargeting allows us to get another chance in selling a prospect our product. I'm just going to say that one more time. Retargeting allows us to get another chance in selling a prospect our product. So if we have a lot of people seeing our ads in funnel step 1, and then less people are funnel step 2, less people are in funnel step 3, and then even less people get to funnel step 4, well, if someone falls out after funnel step 2, so for example, they made it to the website, but they didn't click on the sales page or to book an appointment, we can actually show ads specifically to them. So just the people that made it that far, we're able to show ads to them that are specific to them because they've already shown a lot of interest. In the words of marketing, we call these warm clients. They're not cold traffic. This is warm traffic. These are people that have warmed up to the idea of working with us. They have shown some sort of interest. And what we are able to do is say, oh, okay, they're already a little bit interested in us, and they fell off for some reason. It could be the wrong time. It could be our message wasn't cohesive. It could be they didn't have enough money at that time. It could be we didn't answer enough questions. It could be a whole lot of things. It could be that they just need more touch points with us. They don't trust us enough, and we need to show them more content in order for them to truly trust us. They need more social proof. They need more consistency. They need more authority. They need to show that this is a scarce product and you only have a little bit of time. It could be a whole lot of things. What we're able to do is target just those people again, and then we put them back into the funnel. And this way, these people are put back into the funnel and they're able to click on an ad again. And something that's so important about this is that customers who have already shown interest in working with you, so those that you're going to retarget, these customers are going to be so much easier to sell than cold traffic. If they've already shown some sort of interest with you, they're going to be much, much, much easier for you to sell to and much cheaper for you to sell to than everybody else. And the bigger this number is, those who were able to retarget, then the bigger the number of sales is going to be. Again, we allow them multiple times to see stuff from us. And again, we want to show them as much as possible. We want to get them on as many roads as possible as we possibly can to a sale, an eventual sale. And the way we do that is by showing them a ton of great content. And that content is laden with authority and reciprocity and liking and consistency, social proof, and then scarcity. And again, as they go on to every single entrance, every on-ramp into our trust architecture, no matter where they enter, whether we retarget them or they're entering from a different ad, they're always going to see as much of these trust triggers as we can possibly throw at them. More reviews, more stuff about who we are and our vision, more stuff about loving our clients, more stuff about the fact that everything we do is made to order or is unique and we don't have an unlimited supply of these, or we give them value whenever they have any sort of interaction with us. And all of that, everything about that comes into play and helps them so that every single time they have anything to do with any of our content, it's being reinforced that they should buy from us. Remember, the trust architecture is a self-reinforcing roadmap that gets people to a sale because it is constantly reaffirming, yes, these are the right people. And again, frequency is so important with this stuff. And so again, it could be that they've only seen one ad from you. They've come in and they left because they had to get back to their shift. They were getting in their car. Someone called them. Who knows? It could be 100 different reasons why they left your website. But when you show up again and again in this person's life and you are perfectly describing their situation, you're perfectly hitting their pain points, and you are offering them the perfect offer to get them to where they want to be. You're frequently doing that. You are going to have a powerful, powerful impact on that person's life. And so people normally need to have 7 interactions with your brand before making a purchase. Now, frequency is so important when it comes to retargeting, when it comes to marketing, because these 7 interactions are going to, basically, they're going to be counting up. And if someone only has 2 interactions with you, they're way less likely to do business with you. But if you can retarget them, or if you can meet them on a couple different channels, and you may have heard the hot term now, which is omni-channel marketing, which is basically you're everywhere that they could possibly be. Omni-channel, all channels. Well, what it does is that increases the amount of interactions that a person has with your brand before making a purchase. And that's why it's good. It increases frequency. They see you more. Now, I'm both for and not totally for omni-channel marketing. I'd rather be really good at a few things than good at everything, because jack of all trades, master of none. I'd rather not chase 2 rabbits and catch neither. And so omni-channel marketing oftentimes is put out there by a lot of marketers to try and get people to feel like I'm missing something. When in reality, if you can get 7 interactions with someone without needing to own an app, without needing to have a podcast, also a YouTube channel, as well as a Pinterest, an RS feed, and a blog and everything, it's just not necessary to be everywhere. It's better to be really good at a few things instead of being good at everything. And so omni-channel is sometimes too big of a term, I believe. And I don't see most of the really successful jewelers actually being completely omni-channel anyway. But by retargeting people, we do tap into frequency, and we increase their likelihood of converting each time that they see us. And conversion simply means a sale, booking an appointment, whatever the desired end is. It could be giving us their email as well. So by retargeting people, we tap into that frequency. We tap into what's already happening with them psychologically and get them closer and closer to wanting to have business with us. Now we're going to get into my favorite part, and this truly is a game changer. It was a huge game changer for my family business, and I really hope that it will be for yours too. Now, this is not going to apply to everybody. It will not apply to every business. And I want to just let you know that if you are a pure zero-touch e-commerce store, then this won't be as applicable to you. This will be very applicable to you, though, if you do have some sort of interaction with your clients and you sell higher end items. So this is a jeweler's secret weapon. When I first heard about this, I was just doing hours and hours and hours of research every single week for weeks and weeks on end when I was trying to help my family business. What is it that can set us apart? What is it that we can do in our marketing that other jewelers aren't doing? Because, well, number one, there's not a lot of great examples of great jewelry marketing in the first place. Most jewelers don't have a grasp on this. They don't spend really much time thinking about this. They spend a lot of time being technicians and being very technical in their business and making jewelry. But the marketing aspect of stuff is normally left to the side, and, well, they suffer because of that. And so I was doing tons of research trying to figure out how is it that we can leverage my mom's skills and expertise to get as much money as possible for our business. How is it that we can make her $1,000 an hour, $10,000 an hour? How can we do that consistently? And what I stumbled upon in my research was incredibly fascinating. And I remember having this huge light bulb moment that went off in my head. And thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I think I actually solved it. I think I figured it out. And now I can tell you years later, after implementing this into our store, I can tell you for a fact, it works. This works. A jeweler's secret weapon is appointments. And that might not sound very sexy, but it's true. A jeweler's secret weapon is appointments. For two reasons. Number one, the closing rate of most appointments is 95% or above. I have had so many conversations with jewelers. And I ask them this exact question. What would you say is the closing rate? Once somebody books an appointment with you, how likely are they to purchase? Just once they book an appointment with you. I literally got back. So for my parents' store, I had my mom go through 30 years of her business. And she said there was only one time in her entire business career where someone has booked an appointment with her and they didn't follow through. And they didn't complete. One time in 30 years. That's basically 100%, 99.9%. I had another person, every single time I have a new client for any sort of consulting work, I get them through a business survey that just learns everything about their business. And I put this question on there too, and I said, how likely is it that someone's going to buy from you when they book an appointment? And she literally wrote down 100%. It's 100% certain that they're going to buy from me. And then the next question after that is, what is the average order value that comes from a booked appointment? So when someone books an appointment, okay, they're guaranteed to do business with you. Now, how much do you average, on average, how much do you normally make from each appointment? And it said $3,000 or more. With my family store, it was about $5,000 or more. With a lot of your stores, if you're hearing this, I want you to think about this. What is the closing rate of appointments for you? And what is the average order value of a closed appointment? So I've worked with also completely e-commerce stores who still have appointments, and their closing rates, it's not as high as if you can meet with someone in person or on Zoom, but even their closing rates are up near about 70%. If they have a booked appointment, it's about 70% of a closing rate. Now, if you're not just purely e-commerce and you have a brick and mortar store, people come in, people meet you, your closing rate is likely 95, 97, 99%, or at least 80%. You have an incredible closing rate when someone books an appointment with you, and the average order value is probably very high. So when I figured this out about my family's business, I realized, oh my gosh, we have to leverage this. This is guaranteed money. All I have to do is figure out how to market my family's business to get appointments. And if I can do that, we and I can get really good at that, we will have guaranteed huge sales. And so these sales can be, $3,000 plus. They could be $2,000. They could be $20,000 or $50,000. They can be huge. And again, I want you to remember that when we're thinking about the different things that a jeweler does, and we're thinking through all the way back to magnitude marketing, and we talked about profitability, and we talked about how there are certain times in your business when you're making no money, you're losing money, and then there are other times in your business when you're making a lot of money. The times when most jewelers are making a lot of money is when they have some sort of appointment booked. They have some sort of custom appointment, and I realized if we can get more of those appointments, we're going to be making $1,000, $2,000, $10,000 an hour pretty consistently. What I figured out was how to do this, and I figured out exactly the steps that we need to take in a funnel to make this a reality. So here is what an appointment booking funnel looks like. First, somebody sees an ad. That ad leads them to a landing page. That landing page leads them to a booked appointment. And the booked appointment leads to a sales meeting. And the sales meeting leads to, almost 100% of the time, a paying client. So let's imagine, and we're going to use real numbers here actually, we had 1,000 clicks on an ad. 1,000 people go to our landing page, and there's a 3% conversion rate. Now that might seem terrible. It might seem really, really bad. But I want you to remember, only 3% of your target audience is ready to buy at any given point. Only 3%. So yeah, we're losing 97% of people, but remember, it's likely that 97% of people are not ready to buy at this point. It could be a lot of reasons. So we had 1,000 clicks on an ad, and then we had a 3% conversion rate. Now, we can retarget the 97%. We're not losing them. Remember, we're going to be able to retarget them. Don't worry, they're going to come back. And we'll get more people too. So, ad, landing page, it has a 3% conversion rate. That means 30 appointments. So, of the 1,000 people that clicked, the conversion rate is 3%. Now, there's a show-up rate of 90%. Now, it's often higher than this, but we just want to make sure that we put a little bit of buffer in there. So, let's imagine that the show-up rate is only 90%. So 3% of the people don't show up for their appointment. They need to rebook. Could be a lot of different things. So we have 27 sales meetings. Now let's imagine the closing rate is 95%. Remember, it's actually higher than that. It's actually closer to 100%, but bring it down 5%, and we have 26 sales. And then we take into account lifetime value. Now, this is something that is just bonkers to me. When people book an appointment with you and they're willing to spend $3,000 plus with you, the lifetime value of that client is huge. It's gigantic. And an e-commerce funnel works really, really similar. So let's imagine we have 1,000 clicks on an ad for an e-commerce product. The conversion rate should be around 3%, which means we have 30 add to carts. Let's imagine that the purchase rate is about 95%. Well, that gives us about 27 sales. And then we have lifetime value, which could be about 10 times what they just spent there. So they work very similarly. The only thing is, appointments have a higher closing rate than most e-commerce funnels. So the add to cart is really going to be your biggest thing that you're looking for in e-commerce, not necessarily your purchase rate. It's more likely that when someone adds it to cart, they're going to have a higher... there are a lot of people who just leave things in carts, and it could be for a lot of different reasons that they don't buy something immediately, and we're able to retarget those people too. But when we talk about the real secret weapon for jewelers, it truly is going to be appointments booked. Now, if you have an e-commerce store, purely e-commerce store, what you lack in profitability because you might even have huge profit margins, and that's huge. But if you're purely e-commerce, what you are able to do is have giant scale. You're able to scale a lot bigger than someone who has to work on each piece individually or has to have a lot of appointments with people. Now, like I said before, I've actually worked with a company that does both of these very, very well. Now, their closing rate isn't as high as 100%. It's not as high as most brick and mortar stores. It's about 70% on appointments booked because they don't have any in-person interaction with any of their clients. But they still sell 5,000 engagement rings a year. 5,000 engagement rings by using the sales funnel that I described to you before, this appointment booking sales funnel. 5,000 engagement rings. Naturally, they have a lot of designers working for them, so it's not a small operation by any means, but you can just imagine that is incredibly successful. And what we do with e-commerce and with appointment booking, we have retargeting campaigns. So we're going to retarget the people that get to our landing page and then leave. Retarget people that get to the checkout page and have add to carts and then leave. We're going to retarget our paying clients. That's called clienteling. We are going to retarget them, and we're going to let them know about new offers. We're going to continue to serve them no matter what. Because sales funnels use highly trackable direct response advertising. Remember the difference between direct response advertising and brand advertising. Direct response is trackable and it's ROI focused. So because sales funnels use trackable direct response advertising, you can continually iterate to make it the best funnel in your niche. So you can have the best, most efficient funnel in your area of the world, your area of the woods, selling your particular kind of jewelry, or selling to your particular kind of audience, giving your particular kind of special, perfect offer. You are able to continually iterate and make it better and better until your funnel is better than any other competition that you have. And what happens when you are the king or the queen in your niche? What happens when you continually iterate? Number one, people chase you instead of you chasing them. So imagine that. You're no longer worrying about clients. Clients really want to work with you. They are willing to fly across the country for you. They will put everything down. They'll make time to work with you. Generalist businesses, general jewelers who do everything, a little bit of everything, jack of all trades, they're no longer your competition, and their customers will end up coming to you because you perfectly solve their problems. You put them through a funnel that gives them incredible trust that you are the perfect solution for them. Customers line up to work with you at your price point, and you can decide when you work with them and with whom you work. This was huge. This was so big in our family store when this started to happen. When we had lines of customers, just lines or multiple appointments being booked, and people trying to get in certain time slots because they wanted so badly to work with us. You're able to decide when you work. You're able to block off time. You're able to take higher paying clients, and you can decide whether or not you want to take lower paying clients. They will come to you. You are the king or the queen of that niche. You are the best one. You have a funnel that shows that. You have a website that people say, I am working with you because I was totally convinced by your website that there was no one else that I would rather work with. I was totally convinced by your marketing that there was no one else that I would want to work with. People will leave other businesses to come and work with you because you've done such a great job of hitting their pain points perfectly. Because you've done such a great job of hitting their pain points perfectly. And you can explore new income options, freeing up your time while having an audience that loves to buy all that you offer. Have you ever wondered what else your business could be? Or wondered what other things you could do? Well, If you are in charge of your time, you're in charge of your income, you can decide. You can choose what it is that you want to do. You can think in the future. You don't have to think in the past of just trying to maintain status quo. You don't have to think in the present of just having to work because there's work that needs to be done. You can start to think future forward. You can be future focused. And you can start to make decisions about the future of your business, your future, and what you want to do. And number 4, how do we optimize? So we just talked about what a sales funnel is. We've got a good idea of that now. The biggest mistakes that people make when they're making a funnel, number 1 is a lack of cohesiveness in their sales funnel. And number 2 is not retargeting properly, losing people along the way. Number 3, we talked about how a jeweler's secret weapon, most jewelers' secret weapon that they have, is going to be booking appointments. And then number 4, we're going to talk about optimization. So how do we optimize? Let's talk about sales funnel optimization. First, we're going to talk about the economics of a sales funnel. The economics of a sales funnel, we're talking about the profitability equation. So I'll give you a document and I'll help you walk through exactly what the profitability equation is. But basically it is, how much are you willing to spend in order to acquire a new client? You have to think through, are we advertising for lifetime value or just a single purchase? Because that makes a huge difference. If lifetime value is $30,000, but single purchase is $300, well, if $30,000 is going to be coming, you should be willing to spend more than just a single purchase in order to get that client. You can spend $1,000 if $30,000 is coming to get a client. But if only $300 is going to come, then you have to spend less money in order to get return on your investment. And is our perfect offer proven, and is it powerful enough to command the price that we set? Are we the obvious choice in their minds? Would they want to go anywhere else? And if they do, is our perfect offer, can we improve it? How can we improve it? Then we have traffic. So the economics are, we're talking about price, we're talking about money, trying to make sure that money works. And then we have traffic. So which media will get us in front of the largest population of our niche market the fastest? Where do they live? Where are they going to be? So we're able to change this. We're able to switch where we're taking people from. We're able to decide, maybe it's going to be Google display ads, maybe it's going to be pay-per-click ads through Google, or it's going to be Facebook advertisements or YouTube advertisements, or it could be Instagram advertisements. It could be direct mail, anything like that. Which media that we're going to use is going to get us in front of the most people in our target audience? And are people responding to our ads and clicking through to our landing page in the first place? And are we trying to sell directly to them on that platform? Like you have an option to do on Instagram or Facebook. Are we trying to sell directly through that? Or are we trying to get them to buy through our website? How many steps are there? And what is going to get us the most amount of people? And number 3, conversion. So as we talked about all the way back in the EOS, the Entrepreneur's Operating System, there is a marketing system and then there's a sales system. So let's talk about the sales system. How is that working? What is our sales method? Is our sales method simply doing appointments with people and then we book the appointment, we have an entire pipeline for someone who goes through there? Or is it purely e-commerce? Is it they pay online and then later we meet with them? Is it they pay online and then something gets shipped to them? And how is that sales process working? How much friction is there? Also, is our messaging consistent with this outcome? Are we telling them, book appointment, come book an appointment with us? Or are we telling them, come and get it today? Come have your custom jewelry today? Are we removing or introducing friction? How many steps are there? Can we get rid of steps? Can we make it more simple? Can we make it easier? And then what are our key performance indicators? What are our KPIs? A sales funnel is a step-by-step sales process. And through direct response advertising, we can track and improve each step of this process. And we're going to get into exactly how to do that. But that was our training on funnels, and I hope that you learned something, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. If you have any questions or comments, then feel free to reach out to our team, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks.